Good morning guys, and welcome back to the video. Today we've come to Burghley House near Stamford in Lincolnshire. This is a magnificent Grade 1 house built in the 16th century for the Cecil family, and they still live here today. So we think this is going to be a really special one, and we hope you're going to enjoy coming around with us. Burghley House is almost 500 years old. It was built by William Cecil, the first Lord Burley, who was also Lord High Treasurer to Queen Elizabeth I. The first room we encounter on this tour is the old kitchen. It has a soaring fan-vaulted ceiling, a high lantern and a huge collection of 18th and 19th century copper. This magnificent barrel-vaulted Roman staircase, decorated with Tudor emblems, is the only remaining original staircase at Burley. It continues to the very top of the house, an area once used for recreation and private conversation. The antechapel at Burley offers a really fine view of the inner courtyard. This is at the very centre of the house. It was in this room that the household staff gathered for prayers, whilst the family and their guests worshipped in the chapel. From the chapel we now enter the billiard room. The billiard table here was made in the 1850s using timber recovered from the HMS George, which sank at Spithead in 1782. The table is still used by the Burley staff and family for a keenly contested annual snooker championship. We now enter the bow room. This was the 5th Earl's state dining room. It is immediately above the main north entrance to the house. The ceiling and walls in here were painted by Louis Laguerre in 1697 and depicts scenes from the life of Mark Antony and Cleopatra. The small William IV brass travelling bed in this room was actually used by Princess Victoria, later Queen Victoria. She visited Burley with her mother 2 years before she came to the throne. All of the rooms in the West Wing were created from the 16th century long gallery. This greatly increased wall space on which to hang the 5th Earl's newly acquired Italian paintings. The fashionable corner fireplaces were surmounted by chimney trees designed for the display of Chinese and Japanese porcelain. This room is dominated by a very fine 17th century state bed. It is complemented by contemporary English furniture decorated to resemble lacquer. The tester, the backcloth, the headboard and all the trimmings are original, but the curtains, bedspread and bed skirt had deteriorated and were remade in the 1980s. The Pagoda room is filled with family and royal portraits, amongst them a fine one of William Cecil. The next room we enter on this tour is the blue silk bedroom. Here you will see a magnificent 18th century state bed. It is covered with fine English crewel work. The suite of furniture in this room dates to 1665. It was made by the cabinet maker to King Louis XIV of France and was bought by the 5th Earl. This is the first of the great staterooms in the South Wing, which were intended for royalty and other important guests, a fact reflected in the splendid 18th century fireplaces, each with silver hearth decoration. Antonio Verrio was commissioned by the 5th Earl to decorate this important suite of rooms with mythological scenes. It is thought that while working from 1686 to 1697, he painted the ceilings, in part to reflect the purpose of the room below. For example, here in what was the dressing room, day chases night from the dawn sky. In 1844, this room was refurbished for a 3-day visit by Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. They slept in this spectacular 18th century state bed. This room features a particularly beautiful inlaid marble fireplace. It was made for the 9th Earl by John Richter in the late 18th century. Above it hangs St Gregory by Carlo Saraceni. This is flanked by a magnificent pair of still life flower paintings. The 4th George room is panelled throughout in oak. Interestingly, building records show that the dark colouring of the wood was achieved by staining with strong, dark ale. We now enter the Heaven Room. Antonio Verrio's paintings in this room depict a mythological heaven with gods and goddesses. In the centre of this room sits a remarkable silver wine cooler. It was made by Philip Rollos in 1710, and reputedly it is the largest solid silver wine cooler in existence. It weighs a whopping 100 kilograms. The Hell Staircase forms a powerful contrast to the previous room. This ceiling and the supporting architecture was also painted by Verrio. It illustrates the entrance to hell as being through a cat's mouth. We end this interior tour of Burley in the Great Hall. It has an impressive double hammer beamed roof, which is over 60 feet in height. There is also an enormous Tudor fireplace. The bookcases in here were installed in the 19th century, and some of the books are from the original library that was taken down by Capability Brown in the 17th century.
So we've just been in Burghley House. It's absolutely amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, we were blown away by it. The interiors are spectacular.
There's a lot of rooms with painted ceilings and walls. Absolutely spectacular.
And lots of bedrooms. So yeah, we're just going to have a stroll around the grounds now, guys, so stick with us.
So that concludes our visit to Burghley House in Stamford in Lincolnshire. It was lovely, wasn't it?
It was. We've had a really nice visit there today. We're saying our cheerio clip from inside the car because it's actually quite cold now. Yeah, we thoroughly enjoyed that. We would like just to say a big thank you to everyone that's recently joined our little family. Thank you for subscribing. We hope you're enjoying the videos with us. We hope you're all keeping really well. And once again, thank you very much for watching. So if you could,
please give us a like and subscribe and ring that bell.
Thanks guys, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.